My name is Danny Ross, and I'll be your host today for this Tuesday Talks. It should be some fun. We've got a lot of new things that are happening on the platform, so I'll kind of walk through some of the new, and we'll touch on continuing some of the projects that we are normally on. So just to kind of walk through the AI Lunch and Learn schedule. We currently have 3 sessions a week. We have one starting noon on Tuesday, which is where we are now, Eastern. Tomorrow is noon Central or 1 p.m. Eastern. And then Thursday is a special version where it's more of the entrepreneurs as part of the AI Workstation Incubator program, where all the entrepreneurs get together and share work processes and projects that we're building out. We can kind of see it all be built together. So that's the Thursday session, which is 12 noon PST or 3 p.m. on Thursday. If you do miss a session, don't worry. You can just go ahead and watch a pre-recorded video to get caught up. It's my goal for this week to be completely caught up. But we'll keep adding them, and you can search for any particular recording on a particular topic so that you can easily get where you need to go. Other than that, we also have some new sessions as far as the new apps we're adding all of the time. We've had some upgrades to existing apps, and so it's really interesting to kind of see how things are getting bigger and better every week. So here on the left, you can see all of the apps. If you join from a mobile, you might have to open up this little menu system so you can see all of the items that are on here. As far as using the platform, we have quite a few apps, 90 plus apps. We have the ability for you to make money by using the share function. Your name would be here instead of mine. And you can share this link with anyone, sharing the revenue of anybody who signs up for the platform. So automatically you don't have to do anything, just set up your PayPal, fill out this new form. This KYC form is new, and it is essentially know your customer. So this is the way we are knowing who you are. And so we're making sure we're doing business within all of the financial laws around the world, because our platform is international. So that's why we have to do that. So just fill that out. It's pretty standard if you're receiving revenue from a business. And then the second way is to actually white label the entire platform. And I'm going to put together a series of training on how to white label, and that'll effectively allow you to build out your own version of this platform and make money by just creating your own AI agency. So all of these tools will be branded in your logo, your colors, and that type of thing. So that's one of the new things as well. It is brand new for the platform. It's called Super Agent, and we're going to be doing a lot of training as we go along with this. And one of the interesting things about it is how it continues to expand and grow. For everyone who doesn't know, an agent is essentially a bot that can perform a task. Most current GPTs, or like ChatGPT and large language models, are input-output only, meaning you can ask it a question, it'll give you an answer, and backward and forward, have a conversation with it. Agents are the next step, where you can give it a prompt, ask it to perform a task, and it can go and actually do those tasks and come back when it's done. So it is a powerful sort of feature in the evolution, if you will, of where we're going here. So I'll give you a quick example. As I said, I'm not going to do all of these one by one, but I do want to kind of give you a high-level overview. So we had the last task that I asked it to do is to search the internet and find 5 news stories about AI agents. Then the second part, I asked it, and this is what's great about these agents, is that you can give them multi-step tasks, and they'll go off and take those tasks and go step by step in doing that. So you can write a new blog post. I asked it to write me a new blog post with up to 5 stories, and then create a hero image and 2 inline images for 2 of the stories. So I'm giving it a very, general description, but I'm telling it what I want. And then I want it to send me the actual blog post. So for example, it reached out at this point and sent it to the research manager. And so from a structured point of view, you can see, let me go here just so you can kind of look at it from two versions of it. So I'm kind of showing you the infrastructure around it, and then I'm also showing you a little bit about how it works. So for example, here's the super agent. Here is the communication manager. And then here's the research manager. So think of the super agent as the CEO of the company, and then they have manager levels, and then they have worker levels. So the super agent brought in the research manager because I asked it to look up something on the internet. And so you could use either one of these two connected workers. And so in this scenario, it went for Data Dart, and Data Dart reached out and found 5 stories. OpenAI quickens the pace of change on new agents API, right? And then there's the second story, third, fourth, and fifth. And I could have made it any amount that I wanted it to. So it created, went out and did the search, handed it back to the research manager here. The research manager then went off and called the content manager and told it to create a blog. What's kind of funny, right, is the content manager is being called by the super agent. So the super agent says, hey, content manager, I want you to please create a blog. I love that. And so now it's taking the information from above and it's creating that blog post, and it's reaching out and showing the next step where it speaks to the blog post. It gives the links to where it found the blog post, so kind of like a source, right? And then from there, it went to the next step of calling up the blog post worker, Bella, the blog post writer, and she went to work creating the blog post. And because I asked it to create 3 images, one at the top, a hero image, and called the Imagen, the visualizer or the image creator, she reached out to use one of the other apps in the platform called Hyperrealistic Image Creator. It created 3 different images that it's going to add or hand off to the content manager to add to the blog post. And so it created these 3 images. And then finally, the content manager called the worker Bella the blog post and said, okay, here's your 3 images, added to the blog post. And so it went off to create that actual blog post. Whoops, sorry, let me bring this back up. And after that, and again, all of this from one sentence, giving it an instruction of what I wanted to do. This has all been sent back. The content manager then sends it off successfully to Danny at Digital Express, new blog post, right? And so here's the actual title of the email. And the email was successfully sent to me after it was done. So again, we started with a very simple sentence. Search the internet for 5 news stories about AI agents, write a blog post with 5 of those 5 stories, create an image, 3 images altogether, and send it to me. So very simple to say, but you see all of the tasks that it did to actually accomplish it. Let me go to my email and just do a quick search for that title. And here we go. And let me download the images. And so this is the email that it sent me after it was completed. So you can kind of see the entire kind of step by step. And then you can read more information about the stories and all of that kind of fun stuff. And then as far as the actual blog post, let's see, there's the blog post writer, and here's the link. Okay, cool. So here's the actual blog post that it created, and I can put that up on my website or wherever I want it to be. But you can see it's a very simple, straightforward blog post, just enough images to keep it kind of interesting. I could have had a separate image for each, you know what I mean? I could have done it that way as well, but 2 or 3 is good. And that kind of gives you an idea of the power of agents. So I'll pause here and see if there are any questions as to what I just did. If you want to, please put your question in the chat or raise your hand and I'll bring you up so you can speak. I see Antoinette is on as well as Annette. So we got two A's. Daryl is on. Hey, Daryl. All of you, I believe, have been on before, so I don't think I need to do an introductory. But if you have questions, if any of this is going too fast for you, just let me know, and I'll happy to answer any kind of introductory questions as we're going through this. So again, I just gave you a quick review, if you will, of some of the new in the agent world. We've added new features. So memory management is it's sort of like, when you have a thread in like a chat GPT, you can just keep going on a thread and it'll remember whatever you said. But with agents, one of the challenges are because you can have multiple tasks and in that thread it would remember what you were talking about, but across all of the threads there may be consistent things that you want it to remember, right? So you could essentially create a memory. So you could say something like, I am Danny Ross, my email address is danny at digital express.ai, and my phone number is, all right, and then tell it to save that memory. So the idea is if I wanted to reach out and send an email to Danny Ross, or I could put somebody else's name and email, of course. It is also connected to the contact manager in the platform. So you'll be able to add people to the contact manager simple CRM system. And so you can send things into the CRM system. Eventually, we'll be able to retrieve things. But what's nice is you can build out some of these memories of specific things you wanted to remember so that it now could reference that in future tasks. And so it would be across all of the tasks instead of in a specific task. So those are memories. Just put things in there you wanted to remember. We have the automation. I think I might have mentioned this on one of the prior trainings. So you can create a prompt, such as the prompt I just gave, to do that. So for example, I could come here, I could grab this, right, and go back into automation, and I could put that here. So every week, right, I could say on Monday, I want to create a new blog post. You don't have to put the time in, but of course you can. So let's say I tell it to do it at 8 a.m. bright and early. Let's do it this way. So it can go down to the second, of course, but you want to do minutes. So we just do 8 a.m., do this task and kick it off and do it every morning, right? A Monday morning. And so we get the week's news, if you will. And so that task is now in there, written up, ready to go. And it will go out and read 5 things, create the blog post. We don't have it connected right this minute to social media, but that is definitely in the roadmap where you'll be able to tell it to do that task, find something, write the blog, or not a blog post, but just a post, period. And then you'll be able to push it out to your social media. So that's coming. And as far as being built in, now, can you do the same thing now? Yes. And you can do that through this fourth tab here, which is custom tools, which is where you create a tool using an API connection. So for instance, this one suggestion here in gray is weather app, right? You can connect it to go get the weather and do something with that. Or more importantly, you could connect it to APIs to call your Facebook and your LinkedIn or wherever you want to post something to. So for example, we wanted to post something, we would connect it to that endpoint, right? Such as social media, and have it post something that you've created. So you can create it first and then have it, you could do like a 2-step automation run and so on and so forth. So my point to all of this is this kind of is how we're going to connect it so that you can connect it to external things outside of the product. So don't worry about it. This is just kind of giving you a glimpse into the future. I wanted to just touch on it. You don't have to know how to do any of this yet. I just wanted to let you know what's coming and all of the automation that we're going to have built into the platform. Another new app, and I can't remember if I talked about this on Tuesday before, is the Humanizer app. So we do a lot of things where we have AI write things for us. And so, for example, we use the AI sales coach to write information and create, different things for us. So, here's something that was written during one of our earlier sessions, for example. So, what I want to do, just to show you the idea of this next app, is this one is called AI Humanizer, and I want to kind of give you an idea of what it can do. Actually, I know where I can find it. Never mind. Let's do this. Let's use our own tools, right? So we have the sales and marketing tools, and we have the sales and marketing hooks. And I know that we have created this document here before. So let's grab all of this. And there we go. So this is content that was written in cooperation with the AI tool. And so now I know I have a complete document for Annette's stuff. So this is pretty good here. So actually, so I have the benefit stack. I have some of the free bonuses. So this is the document I was looking for. Never mind. I'm having one of those days. So we got a personal blurb, brand colors, marketing proposal, and the features and benefits. Okay, cool. So we have quite a bit of information in here already that we can use from the standpoint of content, right? And most of this content has been written by AI in conjunction with our guidance to kind of get us to where we wanted it to go. So, for example, this blurb here, if I took this information and I wanted to kind of utilize AI to monitor AI, right? This is where it gets kind of humorous. So there are tools out on the internet that will detect how much of content is supposedly written by humans versus AI. So you can paste in content and you can have it actually check for a human score, which in itself is kind of funny. But the purpose of having it checked for humanity is the more that you utilize the taking it and making it feel more human, right? The more it will get past spam checkers. Like if you're sending emails, the more it'll get past the search engines blocking it because it devalues the content that you're just copying out of AI, that kind of thing. So those are the kinds of things it tells you right here. AI detected. This text could benefit from humanization. It tells you how many credits it's going to use. So if I take that and I say, okay, go ahead and humanize it, it's going to take a minute because it does a couple of things. So first it runs against the AI detector. That then gives a score. So if the score is too low, so let's say below 80% human, it's going to send it to another AI writer that specializes in writing content in a more humanistic way. And then it'll run it back through the AI tool and go back and forth until it gets a good score. So you have to be careful with anything AI produces. You want to still read it and make sure that it makes sense, make sure that it is accurate towards whatever it is your original purpose was, right? So now it's introducing Annette, the brilliant businesswoman at the helm of Graceful Threads, a custom clothing company born out of an obsession with service that is nothing short of splendid and an eye for quality that is hard to match. Okay, so very flowery and marketing speak, but it is now scoring much higher on the humanoid scale. So this is what you're doing to kind of warm up or humanize the content that you created so that you could send this off to a person, a human, to rewrite your content and they would charge you, $25, $50 and an hour or whatever to rewrite your content or create your content. So instead of, 1,000 credits is $6.99. We spent 278, so one third, right? So you could get all of your content for your website to be more humanistic so that when the AI search engines are scanning for answers to questions, they do favor more humanistic kind of responses that is looking for that live content. Same thing with your email, as I mentioned. So that's the idea of the humanizer. And as I said, I think it's hilarious that first you got one tool it's like the AI wars, one tool that detects if it's got a lot of human in it, and then the tool will go off and write something more human sounding, and then it'll give a score and so on and so forth. So again, you can take this and run this anywhere to run it against the AI detectors and see what kind of score you get. So I find it hilarious in that sense because I'm always amused by the things that we do to get around AI challenges. So actually, let me put it up here where we have the personal blurb. So we got the personal blurb, and we'll call this one AI. And then we've got the personal blurb again. Let's go down here to the bottom, and I'll call it humanized, but still written by AI, just in case you were getting confused. All right, let me paste this new text in here. All right, so you can be your own judge of what you think is. So it's kind of like, as I said, introducing a net, right? So it is, again, subjective. So you guys can kind of vote on which one is more humanistic. The first one, which was written by an AI. I love the concept of this battle. This is making me laugh. So I'm gonna put this in. I might not be able to put the whole thing. Hold on, let me see how many words, how many letters or words it is. It is. Let's try that again. Let's see. It's a simple copy paste, guys. Work with me. Control C, Control V. It will not. Yeah, it will not let me grab it. Darn. All right, so if you got a screenshot, you can maybe grab it. So personal blurb, that's the first one. And then the second one, introducing Annette, blah, blah, blah. It's really fascinating to me what it considers more humanistic than others. So again, in the chat, please go ahead and vote for if number one seems more human to you or number two, just from a subjective point of view. There is no right or wrong answer to this question. You should check all of the content that comes out of these things and make sure that they actually make sense to you. So that's this one here. Let's see if I can get it to work now. Yeah, there we go. So that's just the first paragraph of number two, the more humanized one. And then here's the first paragraph of the personal blurb written by the AI. So feel free to vote which one, in the chat, which one you think is more human, the first one or the second one. And we can go from there. So you should be able to see it in the chat. Can anybody see the chat okay? Let me know. Okay, you can see it. Okay, so yeah, vote and see if number one or number two seems more human to you. I'm curious of what you guys think is more human. So, like I said, the first option in the chat is the humanized version, introducing Annette. And then the second one, Meet Annette, was written by AI first. Let me know which ones you guys think are sound more human to you. I like the humanizer version. I will say it's got like a little bit of a lighter feel to it. It is very markety, but it's still pretty decent. So I'm kind of curious. All righty, so let's go. If you guys do want to speak again, just raise your hands and I'll try to notice when you do, and I'll try to put you up so that you can speak. Okay, so let's go back here So now that we've got a little more humanized content, so those are the two new apps, the bots and the super bots, as we're calling it for right now, and the Humanizer. So those are both new apps on here under the new apps section right here. If I zoom a little bit, then I can kind of get this to drop down properly and then zoom back out. Don't ask me, it's a Chrome thing, I think. So the idea is you can click on either the new super agents or you can click on Humanizer to play with the new tools. Okay, so they're both here under new AI apps. All right, anybody have a question? Let me know. I will move on to the next topic. So we have new tools everywhere, new features and functions everywhere. One of the new is under websites. So we have my favorite website builder, AEO website. Let me zoom in a little bit. So let's see, yep, make it a little bigger. And wow, that's interesting. It is definitely giving me that something here. Let's see if we can get this. Wow, why is it's doing that? Let me refresh the whole page. Okay. Let's go back to 100%. Okay. And refresh. It is crazy today. Right. Well, let's do this. There we go. All right. We'll stick with this and we will not mess with it too much more. Sometimes you just have to go with what works. Okay, so what I was going into Funnels and Website, my favorite AEO website creator, and let's go ahead and continue some of the work we've been doing with Annette's website as I demonstrate some of the new things that you can do. We are building out Graceful Threads, which is a website for Annette. And the interesting thing so far is we started with a very simple model. And let me close these down, close that down so we don't have too many of these links open. But again, as I said, you can always duplicate so that you can see more. And so we were building it against, I believe, the example website funnel, which is just one of the tools here. And so this one is a good format for a sales funnel or a single page website. And so we were building it against this one as from a look and feel point of view is where we started. And so Graceful Threads is here. And so far we've built a header section with a video. And last week, I believe, let me go here and let's preview this and see what we're doing here. Yep. So last week we created a video.
Unforgettable with personalized apparel that captures cherished memories. Our custom-made t-shirts ensure memorable family reunions and preserve moments in a unique, tangible way. Celebrate every occasion with meaningful apparel designed on a timely schedule to deliver quality without compromise. Experience ultimate comfort with our high-quality cotton blends, perfect for lasting memories. Enjoy inclusive design input from all generations, ensuring satisfaction through professional service and guaranteed delight. Choose Graceful Threads for memorable keepsakes at competitive pricing, turning family events into treasured memories.
Pretty much all that was AI generated with just a touch of editing on the photos so that we got photos that more lined up with Annette's website vision. And we created the different sections, the images that we've chosen, and the special time offer with a call to action, right? So we've got some more call to actions to add on the page, and we've got some more things we do need to build out, but I think we're on the way to where we want to go. So here, if I go back into the editor, actually, let me step out of the editor for just a second because there's some new things that I do want to share. So you have the ability to add products. And so products are you can connect it to either e-commerce, you can build products, pages within the platform, you can connect it to payment gateways like Stripe or PayPal and so on, where right now the simplest integration by far is definitely Stripe, where you can actually integrate the products and create the products and integrate them into the platform. And there's a couple of different ways you can do that. But as you're logged in, you can go out here to integrations. So you see there's a click on your profile picture and then go to integrations. And you have the connectivity to add, for example, in this case, Stripe. Right now, we're only using Stripe for payments that you're getting from customers, and then we're paying you via PayPal. Don't ask me; it's a complicated thing with the platform, and so that's where we are right now. But we're adding more as we go along. You can integrate email. You can integrate so you can have batch email processes instead of sending emails one at a time. You can use SendGrid, Mailgun, or your own SMTP server. I'm just giving you some idea of what you can do. You can send text messaging via Twilio, which is pretty much the biggest text message provider out there. And then now you can also connect Google as part of the super bots, as I've mentioned. So you can have Google Docs, Google Email, Calendar, etc., all connected into the platform. So those are the main integrations that we're offering right now. You can create a product on Stripe, and then from there, you can connect that product right here. So for example, I have the Digital Express is the company that have connected via Stripe, and then I can add products to that particular instance of Stripe so that it would show up here, and that's all I need to do. So if I create like for instance, I have a membership for $19.95, I would connect it and save that into here. But I'm not going to do that right now because this is not my white label level. So let me explain that later at another time. White labels are a whole lengthy subject, so I don't want to get into that. You can also add automations, and so you can add either an email, SMS, or some other action. So for example, send welcome email, right? You can set this automation up so that every time everyone signs in, let's say they opt in for an email newsletter, right? So any action, right? Email opt-in, they make a purchase or not make a purchase. So if you want to send it to everyone who sends in a form, you can pick that one. Or if they specifically opt in for an email, you can do that one as well. So in this one, I do it for everyone who submits anything, any kind of form on the website. And then I already have my email connected, as you may have seen. And so you can say, who's the sender, right? In this case, digitalexpress.ai, right? And then you can leave this part here. I would put my name in here. People like to respond to emails from someone, right? And then they welcome, right? And you could write out the text that you want to have in the email to happy to see you. And so the sender here would be, right? I just realized I'm building it as if it was for myself. And so you can send that welcome email. That's the name of it internally. Everybody who's ever action, right? We want to send an email automatically. And that would set up her connections to the email blast functionality, right? Using SendGrid, Mailgun, or something else. And then this is just the letter that would go out. You could put an image. You can send it to go right away or delay it a couple of days or a couple of hours. So all of those are available options, and then you would create it. So that's one option. The other one is you could add another action. So that's an action that you could automate. So whenever somebody submits a form on Graceful Threads, it will automatically send them a welcome email. All right. So you could also send a thank you email, somebody buys something, things like that. And then under configuration, you can see information about it. You can see the pages that are out there. You can see the stats of how many people came and visited the website. You can see what contacts were created via the website and download them. Obviously, we haven't sold anything, but you can see how many sales you have going on. and then it has the settings where we go in. Once we're ready, we're going to get her domain set up and get her fave icon, which is the little picture you see in the top of the tabs, automatically being created by the website. This is a great, powerful feature because this is what ChatGPT and other AI tools read. And so it automatically gets generated as we add content. And so these are the things that the AI is actually going to read, not your actual website page that you see, but this behind the scenes things are going to look at your sitemap. If you have more than one tab, there's the traditional robot text file that basically just says, can the Google search engine look at your page, yes or no, kind of thing. And so these are all behind the scene things today. I know I'm talking about a little technical things, but you can do a lot of fun things in the background. And so I just wanted to kind of let you know that the power of it was all here. So if we go back to the website, there are some new features that I'm going to continue kind of stressing on and just making sure everybody kind of gets it. Again, I'll pause. If anybody has any questions, please go ahead and drop it in the chat. So here, if I go back into the edit page section, you can see we have a new icon right here, the little lightning bolt. And so what this is to do is to optimize, right? So it's going to try to speed up the actual website performance. It'll look at making sure things like keywords and meta descriptions are done, all the things that we just talked about. So these are all things that we want to make sure are always optimized for, so when people come to your site, it has good performance and they're happy because it doesn't take a long time to load. It does all kinds of fun things aside from all of these SEO and AEO optimization things. It also lightens up your images. So for example, if you have PNG style images or .jpg or JPEG images, it converts them to WEBP style images, which are generally just lighter, which again improves the performance. And so those are the types of things that you can do by just clicking that one button. It does all of those things for you. I'm not going to actually do that this time, only because this site is still being built and I don't want to go through it once simply because it doesn't really serve a purpose until you get your website kind of humming along. So I just wanted to let you know those things are there. And then we have the form filler here. Let's see if we can, so we just have the name, phone number. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and pop out here to the preview and schedule a call. Yep, we have it set on the schedule call. And so I can put in another alias. I'm a retired DJ. And that's one of my old DJ name. I was on the radio in Florida for many years. But yes, I have retired and moved to Georgia. I'm in Atlanta now. Let's see if I submit this. What is going on with my forms today? I'm having a lot of, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but ChatGPT and a few of the other LLMs, they were having some definite issues over the last a little bit here. And this form works perfectly every time. And today it refuses to do it. Oh, this is interesting. All right, well, we'll play with this experiment later on. It'll probably work in 5 minutes when I come back to it. So I have no idea. Maybe I didn't connect. Let's see. Let's go take a look. I thought I had done this experiment before. So obviously I did get a new user added when we were on here before. So whatever my problem is, it is interesting that it's occurring today. So I know the pop-up works because we used it before. That's how we had that first user in there, because I did that via that pop-up. So let's see. Let's try triggering it this way and see if we can get it to work. Everything else looks okay. And so we'll save it. I'll save the change. I should tell you what I just did. I went into the edit settings and I have it show on exit. Don't show on exit means it'll only activate when you click a button. Show on exit means if you move your mouse towards the top of the screen, like you're going to click out of it, it will pop up. And so you have a choice as a user how you want it to react. So that's what that choice is it's just making that little difference right there. So I'm just testing it to see if it'll let me get a little reaction out of the form now. So I'm going to save that, and I'm actually going to go back a step here and pop out the URL and see if we can get this to actually pop up. It's interesting. I'm having trouble with the form submission. So again, I can click on the button to get it to pop up, or if I go up to the top, see how it pops in there? And so let's see. And oops, gmail.com. Let's see. Okay, that all worked. Maybe my submit button is broken. And so this is called triage, right? Or error corrections. Let's go see if I broke the button. That is a very good possibility now that I think about it. Edit settings. And we have our button. Let's click on our buttons. So set action. It tells you right here, Danny. See, look, set action. It says, what do you want it to do? Right. So we have the form. So we can either pop up a form, website, scroll next page, or show or hide. So you can put in the action that you want it to do. So this is interesting. So it won't let me go to the next page because it's just not giving me what I need. So I can go to another page, such as the next page, which would be the thank you page, generally speaking, right? Or I can scroll down, or I can just, whatever it is that I want it to be able to do, go to another website URL. So those are all the things. But I just wanted it to submit the form, which is basically what we want out of this. So be patient with the system as you use it. If you run into a problem like this where you're trying to do something simple and it just won't do it, my suggestion is generally one of patience. Just let it do its thing, come back in an hour and see if whatever it is not working. If you still can't get it to work, send me an email and I will submit it to the support team and try to get it taken care of for you. They're usually pretty good, but every now and again, in this case here, I'm definitely mystified myself. I've even had buttons before where it will not do what I want it to do. And I'm like, okay, I'm just not hitting it correctly or something. And this is one of those cases where this is one of those mysteries of life. And I guarantee you, I'll come back here in an hour and it will go ahead and generate that user for me right away. So it's interesting. So I do know I haven't actually committed this domain. So I will work on that while we keep working on this. Let's see, we have a question. If you create a video from website, can you tell it what type of scenes you want to be created, like race or children, indoor and outdoor? Generally speaking, if you want to control that, that's a great question. If you want to control the specifics of it, I suggest two things. One, get the text and paste it in here so you can tell it exactly what you want. So you can give it very good descriptions. And the way that you can generate a script, if you've never done a script before, so there's two ways to kind of do this, right? The URL, which is your question, and the text is going to give you more control. So you can actually tell it what you want in the scenes. That would be my suggestion, first pass, right? Second pass is once you've generated it from your URL, let's say, if that's the path you want to start with, then you can just click edit. Let me go back a step, hold on. Click edit right here, the little pencil, and then you can go in and change each one. So if you want the best start, I would say start with a script. And so you can go ahead and say, what you want in each scene to start with. And so if you've never done a script, the way you can do that is go to one of the expert tools, depending on the type of script that you want to create. And you can give it a prompt like AI sales coach. I want to advertise my t-shirt business. I think we might have used one of these before. Let's see. Nope, I don't have one here. All right, so I'll just create one. So this is the thread from one of the previous conversations we had. So let's do this. Let's see. Oh, here we go. This is one right here. So I put in a prompt to get, so first of all, I gave it the specifics of what I wanted. So here's the prompt that I use. You are a world-class digital marketing expert. I want you to create a 2-minute sales video using the following information. So this is where your product brief comes in. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Annette. I didn't understand your question. I should have put the words in to describe what I wanted each scene. Is that what you're saying? Yes. So this will help you get the scene going, but I'll also show you another piece of the thing you need to do once you get past that first submission. So here's the prompt that I used, and I gave it a very specific thing of what I wanted. I set the context that you're a world-class digital marketing expert. I told it specifically what I wanted. I want a 2-minute sales video letter, make it informative about, and I gave it the tone I wanted it to use and the topic I wanted it to use. What I fed in next was the product brief, right? So this kind of gives information about it. And then what it'll give you out of it is the video sales letter script. So you can copy paste this into that text space where you tell it for the 5 scenes that you want, you're telling it exactly what it is you want it to include. You can tell it what types of pictures you want it to include and see if it'll create enough of what you want. So that's step one as far as creating the scenes, right? The second part is then if it takes that first pass at it and creates some images that you don't like, then go into hyperrealistic, feed your business brief here into the create AI image ideas one and tell it, here's my business brief, give me 20 ideas for images, right? And what that'll do is it will allow you to generate ideas for images if you don't already have them. If you know specifically what images you want in each scene, then just have it create that image for you. And so that way now you have complete control of the images that is creating. So then once you've created the image from a workflow point of view, you would just go here and download the image that you want. So for example, we did that for Annette's video. Her original images were not what we wanted. So we went here, we generated the image, then we downloaded them, and then final step, you would just go here and upload the images to replace the ones that are there. And that's the steps. Let me go ahead and allow you to speak, and then please ask if we can communicate a little faster. So go ahead and unmute if you want to ask. First, tell me if that answers your question.
No, that answers it. It's just, I see it's a few more steps that I need to do.
Yeah, so it's essentially have it write the script for you, unless you already know what you want to say, and then go back in and upload the specific images you want to use so you have 100% control of those images. And by the way, you can add more scenes, you can add more text than what it generates. So you have complete control over what is being said by the AI. You have complete control over the images that are shown in there until you get it to where you're happy. So I don't recommend going above 2 minutes for any of these because attention spans being what they are. Unless you're going to do an educational kind of video, then you want to have what we call a talking head there. So you want to go on camera and speak, or at least you want to have different B-roll running, and that means you got to do a little video editing. And there is a movie editor tool in the platform where you can go in and do further edits to it. But I'm just saying, for a variety point of view, you don't want to have people staring at an image for more than a couple of seconds before you move on to the next one. That's why these sentences are so short. It's so that the flow keeps going. So those are some suggestions.
That's it for now.
So we touched on superbots, and again, the recording, if you missed the beginning, will be up. And so we'll talk about the superbots. We talked about Humanizer, AI Humanizer. We spoke on just some of the new features in the website creator, just adding more power behind the scenes to get found by ChatGPT and other AI search engines. And then we just talked a little bit about more advanced AI video editing. So I'll pause here, see if there are any last questions. So our next general AI training will be next Tuesday. And of course, tomorrow, lunchtime, 1 p.m. Central, I'll be back and we'll continue building out the website and having some fun with any new things that added to the platform. As I said, new things are added to the platform almost daily. Once I get done with the website, I do want to do some training on how to create a white label. That's how you make money on this website, on the AI agency side, where we do talk a lot about that on Thursdays and building things out. So if you're interested in the white label part of it, becoming your own entrepreneur AI agency, Thursdays, 3 p.m. Eastern or noon Pacific is when we spend some time talking about that. All right, everyone, have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.